All right, then, no messing around. I'm just going to get straight into the video and just going to show you some of the trades that I've taken recently with this amazing 80% win rate strategy I've been trading over the past 6 months or so. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, and if you want alerts, you can get them down in the description. So very, very simply, looking at the 1 minute time frame here, we did have one trade yesterday, which was pretty good. You can see we were back here, obviously slowly recovering after that massive drop that we saw on Thursday and Friday. We had a nice little accumulation. I didn't take this because I was asleep, sadly. You can see this was just before London opened, but basically got this nice accumulation here. You can see generating a decent level of liquidity in this area here. We came down, swept out a good amount of liquidity after this nice little accumulation. Pretty much a perfect reaction. Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Lovely inverted fair value gap here. As you can see, nice reaction off of this low after sweeping the liquidity. Nice bounce to the upside. Targeting a 1-for-1 there. You can see the 1-for-1 came up and got hit pretty much instantly in the space of 3 minutes. Take half one position off and go break even on the rest. Runners to targets probably here and here. And as you can see, worked out to absolute perfection. This would have been a 1 to 5 risk to reward if you'd held the whole thing. Would have played out in the space of about half an hour. You can see perfect V-shape back to the upside. This is always what you're looking for, these V-shaped recoveries. Generally what you're looking for is accumulation, manipulation below a liquidity level, and a V-shape back up for distribution. Back up to usually where you form the top of the V-shape like this is your final target. Perfect model. Really, well, not perfect, obviously. Nothing's perfect in trading, but in my opinion, the most perfect model that I've found, and it does exceptionally well. Sadly, on market open yesterday, we didn't get any kind of manipulation down. We just pumped straight off open and ripped all the way to the upside, not giving us a chance to get in for this massive, what is this? Almost a 200-point move to the upside on open, which is obviously exceptionally annoying. But on the face of things, you have to say it was probably quite likely that we would see this after the massive dump that we saw last Friday. On Friday, it was pretty obvious that we were going to pump back to the upside in a big way on open, in my opinion. You could have chased this to the upside, but I don't generally tend to do that anymore just because I like to trade my model and that's it. But you can see what we would have been looking for off this open would have been something like this. Obviously, a liquidity sweep and then a bounce to the upside. This would have been perfect for what I was looking for, but we didn't get that Judas swing to the downside off open. Sadly, we just pumped straight up. We did get a few trades in the PM. You can see very choppy price action though. There was a 30-second long here that I did take. I think you can see it kind of on the 1 minute here as well. We did eventually close above, but this was a break-even trade. I decided to go break even on this a bit earlier, just because of the crazy chop that we were seeing. I basically went break even at this high here because I didn't know if we would reject this fair value gap above. I got stopped at a break even instantly, and then I was just like, yeah, this price action is not the one to be trading. You can see you don't want to be trading when you're in accumulation. I took this because you could see this looks like manipulation. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and it actually almost worked out, but you can see I got stopped at break even. If I'd actually followed my own rules super rigidly here, I actually would have got a win, as you can see, because I could have just waited until 1-to-1 to take profit and go break even, and then I would have probably got almost, maybe I would have got a 2R. See, if I just followed those rules. But I wasn't trusting this price action. I was feeling like I was trading a little bit still in accumulation. You can see we did bounce to the upside nicely here, but I wasn't enjoying this price action. So I made the intuitive decision to go break even early and got break even, which is fine. There'll always be more trades. You can see there's almost potentially another trade here. You can see after lunch in the US, you do sometimes get those after lunch plays. We've got this pretty obvious area of liquidity here. Let me get rid of this alert. Pretty obvious area of accumulation again. We actually swept up the high, came down and swept the low. And we have got a potential fair value gap here that we could have taken. Obviously, this one isn't as obvious and it's a bit less. It is still technically a V shape, as you can see, but obviously we didn't sweep the major low. We only swept this minor low, so I wasn't as convinced about this one, but you can see this would have worked as well. Targeting a 1-for-1. This would have come up, hit the 1-for-1, and then got break even straight away, as you can see. Was there any other? There wasn't any other gaps on this one apart from the 1 minute, I don't think. Why is my chart just completely leaving me right now? You could have also potentially, if you wanted to be risky, where the hell? Honestly, my charts recently have been giving me the creeps. There was also this 5 minute that you could have potentially taken. You could see it's a bit more of an obvious gap. We came up here, got a really good close. Targeting a 1 for 1, this would have played out, and then go break even on the rest. Obviously, the targets here are just going to be these massive ones to the left because we're coming out of this huge V shape in general, aren't we? So we're just catching a small piece of the pie, but one of these places up here would have been a good target for your next runner. You can see this would have gone up for a 2 to 1 RR as well if you'd have taken this one. I didn't take this one personally because I took the 1 minute and got break even. Then I was like, after one actual break even and then one scale break even, I was done for trading PM yesterday. Thought I'd just wait for some better price action. You can see we've actually got a sweep right now of this accumulation that we saw here, which would have been a nice, if we'd have got a nice gap, but you can see this horrible PA here, no obvious fair value gaps. There is a potential. There's a 1 minute fair value gap here holding price down, but you can see we never inverted it and it's just horrible choppy PA right now. This is really low volume here actually, look, over the past so and so amount of minutes. So basically, I'd just be looking to wait for market open today, most likely, unless we see a good amount of volume coming down doing something like this. This is why I've got an alert set here. I'm just going to set an alert here as well. And I'll probably have an alert down here somewhere. You can see these clear levels of liquidity are places you want to be targeting. There's a good obvious level of liquidity here underneath this wick. This is obviously a good area of liquidity as well. Anything like this or anything like this would be perfect for today. This one would be ideal because we'd be bouncing out of this huge 1 hour or higher, maybe even a 4 hour fair value gap there. That would be an ideal trade. But right now, as you can see, trades happening all the damn time on this strategy. It's absolutely amazing. Well, have we had any gold trades recently? Just trying to think. Gold's been in a bit of a weird spot recently because it had this massive sell-off. Let me show you. This massive sell-off, pretty much the whole of last week, all the way down. We swept liquidity. You can see we just basically have been recovering from that really, but we didn't get that many obvious plays for gold recently. Let me just take a look today and see if there's anything. So we have got, you know, a bit of accumulation here. You could have potentially taken this 1 minute. This would have worked. Has this got a 5 minute? It's not really very obvious, but it still would have worked. You can see there's a kind of a smallish fair value gap here that you could have taken. Obviously the inverse there would have been nice one. We're going to come down and sweep the low again here. Interesting. But you can see this works all the damn time on so many different things. This works predominantly really well on NQ, Nasdaq 100 futures for me, just because of the way it tends to want to reverse back around after liquidity sweeps. But it does work on gold as well. I'm not going to waffle on too much longer. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. And if you want to get alerts and signals for this, and also more information about the education, check out our other videos, and also go in the description, sign up for the private Discord, and you can get involved. Thanks a lot.